Hello, welcome to episode 52 of Small Biz Highlight. My name is Tiffany Roman and I am your host. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you are catching us on replay, make sure that you comment down below #replay. We love to see who stopped by and took the time to check us out. As always, I am proclaiming that this is the year of 2021. This is your year, no matter what your goals, no matter what your ambitions, no matter what your business or life achievements that you want to excel at this year. It's going to happen. I'm putting it out there into the universe because let's face it, we're all tired of 2020 and everything that happened. So it's nothing but positive vibes coming from me, and I hope it all spreads to all of you. If you are trying to find us, no matter where you're looking for Small Biz Highlight, you're going to find us by just searching for Small Biz Highlight. I tried to keep it as positive and as easy as possible for you all to find me. Past episodes and future episodes can all be caught on Facebook, YouTube, and IGTV. I have most of the episodes uploaded. I have to catch up. I got behind. Don't judge me. Other than that, if you are catching us live and you want to leave a comment, more than happy to oblige by putting your comment on the screen. But unfortunately, we got to make sure that in order to see your name and your comment, that Facebook and StreamYard are allowed to talk to each other. So that has to be given by you by just clicking on the link that I'm about to put in the comments as we speak. StreamYard.com/Facebook. Super easy. All you do is click the link and then you'll be able to comment. I'll be able to see your name and we'll see your comment on the screen. It's pretty cool to get your comment on the screen, I promise. Other than that, I have a ton of announcements, but I don't want to take away from my guests, so I'm just going to do a separate video later because when I tell you there's a ton of changes, because I'm trying to make this a lot better, not just for me, but for all of you. Believe me, I'm making a ton of changes. So I'm really excited. A lot of great things coming your way. A lot of things coming my way. So I will definitely go live after this interview just to do a big update on everything that is me and coming up. All right. So I have the link in the comments as promised. Now, as I said, tonight is all about my guest, so I'm not going to delay her anymore. Tonight, I have the honor of introducing you all to Belinda Eigen. And yes, I did ask her how to pronounce her name before. I made sure to get coached on how to pronounce it right before going live this time, I promise. I'm trying to grow, people. So let me get her on here and hopefully we're good. Boom. Hello.
Hi, Tiffany. Hi, everybody.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to be on the show.
Yeah, it's really a pleasure and an honor to be here. I know we talked a little bit about this before we went live, but I've been following you probably since around the fall of last year. And I've been waiting my turn to be on your show. So this is a great day.
You were probably one of those people that all of a sudden I had to add the second show in onto the schedule just so that you wouldn't have to wait till like April or this year for your appointment. So I thank you so much for trusting me with your business, with your story, with all of the above. I know it's truly something that means a lot to all of you personally, your counterparts, all the business owners that I featured in the past and will feature in the future. So I definitely do not take that for granted. So as you know, I always start my episode with this really profound question. Who are you, Belinda?
That is a great question, and one I probably spent way too much time thinking about. I guess really I'm someone who I love to learn. I love to problem solve. When I was a little girl, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. I knew that I wanted to help people. And so I didn't really know where that would take me. But I spent several years working in nonprofit. And then now I have a career in child welfare. And then it's also brought me to this, where I'm helping people kind of get control of their money and understand it better and feel like they have the power to really make choices, and that money's not controlling the decisions they make, but that they get to control what they do with their money. So I guess that's me kind of in a nutshell. I'm a little bit of a numbers nerd. So money kind of fits in with that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I like elephants, in case you couldn't tell from the elephant logo on my website.
My grandmother, she passed a little while ago, but she was obsessed with like elephant statues, elephant figurines, elephant everything in her house. There was you probably could not step anywhere without stepping next to an elephant. She had every kind of version of elephant out there. It was pretty crazy. I think I even got a couple pieces of her elephants after she passed. I have them upstairs. So a very nice animal, but probably makes sense because you're all about numbers, and they say elephants have like the best memory ever, right? So, I mean, that must come into play.
They're incredibly wise, magnificent animals. They mourn their loved ones, and just really amazing creatures. My dream someday is to be able to get close enough to a baby elephant that maybe it'll let me pet it. I don't know.
You'll get there. I have no doubt. We'll figure it out somehow, I promise. No. So your business is called 24 Finance. Why 24 Finance? Like where did the name come from?
So I struggled a lot with the name. There are so many amazing organizations, blogs, other coaches out there that have fantastic business names that I thought were great, but they were already taken. And as I was really racking my brain trying to come up with a name for my business, my significant other, he said, you know what, your favorite number is 24. Why don't you just call it that? And I said, you know what, 24 is such a great number. Yes, I'm going to do it. No one will understand it. It doesn't relate to the elephant in the logo. Nothing really connects, but I'm genuinely just putting it out there, the things that I love, and hopefully that's good enough. So that's how there's no significant meaning behind it other than I picked two of my favorite things, the number 24 and elephants.
We do this.
Sorry, I'm being invaded. Go ahead.
That's okay.
If you promise to be quiet.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I guess
Sorry, the little baby.
In-person guest.
Close the door, baby. Yep. Thank you. Sorry, I was being invaded. Usually he tries to steal the fun. Usually he tries to steal my thunder and like climbs all up over me and whatever to try and say hi, but he was on a mission. He wanted some blocks. So thankfully. But okay. So how long have you been in business?
So officially the business started in 2019. There were some other services that I was offering. I was working with small businesses, but since then I've really honed in on working with individuals. I found that's what I really love to do. That's I still do small business work on the side as if requested, but really my focus now is working with individuals. I particularly love working with young people, helping get them educated. No one was there to help me when I was a teenager or 20 something trying to navigate this world. So 2 years. I can't believe it's already been 2 years because I feel like last year didn't even really count.
Well, it counted. You're still like about 2 years. It just, a few wrenches in the system. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, was your business mostly virtual to begin with before COVID, or did COVID kind of force you to be more virtual than you're used to?
Yeah, it really evolved over time. So before I officially became a business, I was actually meeting with friends on the side anyway, just kind of helping them with their finances. And we'd meet periodically off and on over the years. And so I always thought, well, in person is a really great way to connect. It's such a sensitive topic, talking about money. I think in person is kind of my preference, but yeah, with COVID, everything changed. And I found that some of the clients that I work with aren't really local. And so meeting in person isn't really feasible. So I can do phone calls or, a video chat to get more of that personal interaction. So I'm really flexible, whatever people are comfortable with. Obviously, right now with COVID, avoiding in person right now, just because of some of the safety issues there for some people. So most everything's via phone or virtual at the moment.
I just muted myself because I was scared the baby was going to come in. Oh, I totally forgot. Sorry. Okay. So, that seems to be the norm for most businesses nowadays, because, even if they were mostly virtual before, they still weren't at that level where it was 100% virtual. And then COVID came and kind of said, nope, you have no other choice. But, I think it's in a good way. It actually forced, business owners to kind of mutate, I guess, or what is that called?
Evolve,
Develop themselves, evolve. Yeah. Learn that, they are adaptable, that they are able to grow and, persevere through such a trying time. This COVID stuff is just no joke. And the shutdowns they just broke my heart. I don't know how else to explain it, because, I had so many friends who had brick and mortar businesses, but I also had so many friends who worked from home mainly, but both were struggling so hard because now they went from being able to go have fun, go out with their friends, have parties, whatever their business was, to now being stuck from home and having to try and reach people from their house. And if they weren't doing it before, they were just learning as they go, kind of like me with this web show. But, people have really shown how amazing it can be to be put into a certain situation where, it's like a boost, an energy boost kind of thing, to know that, this was potentially something that could destroy you, but then in the end, it helped you grow and made you stronger.
Yeah, I think this really highlighted the resilience that a lot of people have. And, when facing a difficult situation, the support system you have really makes a big difference. I'm kind of pulling from my child welfare background. And so one of the things that I've noticed in working with clients recently is they've made a lot of naturally just adapted in terms of their finances to kind of, they're focused more on saving if they can. They're spending less on fuel. They're spending more on food. And some people really have kind of buckled down and saved during, this time where life really looks different. But then other people have kind of gone on shopping sprees to kind of, fill that emotional need that they have, that sometimes money can not really fill, but is sometimes used to try to fill.
Yes, because for those people out there that just love to shop, I am not one of them, but I can totally see how they were struggling when they were used to just going out shopping, doing whatever they wanted, and now they just did not have the access to everything like they expected. But then they also probably weren't keeping track of everything they were spending on, so money was going away a lot faster. I love that you mentioned that, you love working with the young people because you didn't have anybody to kind of help you when you were younger. I thankfully had an accountant for a stepdad. So money was always talked about when I was a kid. And in high school, I actually took an accounting class, I'm pretty sure. So it wasn't anything abrupt. It was just, balancing the checkbook every month, and they would give you assignments like you're going to go grocery shopping, but you only have this much money. And then I think it was that class that when I did one of the assignments, I was like, where'd all my money go?
Right. Yeah.
Wait, this isn't as easy as everybody else makes it look. What the heck just happened?
Yeah, I think that's amazing that you had that opportunity when you were younger. What I've seen is that a lot of people don't have that opportunity, or Maybe the ones that do don't take that opportunity because it's not really of interest. Like you had someone in your life who talked about money, and so you're probably curious because of your connection with that person. But you know, for a lot of people, it's not talked about. I know in my home growing up, you know, I have two wonderful parents, but had very different styles in how they managed their money. And I really only remember hearing about money when we had to make decisions on like what to cut back. And so it was never really talked about otherwise than just kind of what I could observe. And so I really think there's so much sometimes that we just don't even know about our own relationship with money, that maybe kind of like we're sort of aware, but not really. Like we all kind of have a money personality. You know, are you a spender? Are you a shopper? Are you a saver? Are you a really frugal person just naturally because of your personality or situation? Or, you know, those are things like people don't really talk about and how that impacts the decisions they make. And so, yeah. So part of like what coaching can do is kind of help you understand your relationship with money, not just, you know, because I know you've had other coaches on the program before, and they have a lot of great information that they shared. You know, not just there's that goal setting, kind of what's your financial freedom number, figuring out some of those things, but also just kind of getting to know yourself better too. And in terms of how your habits play into some of those decisions. So a financial coach can really help you work through some of that. Also help you with some of that goal setting. Like if you're not a planner, if that's not really your personality and you just kind of deal with things as they come up. I think I remember you mentioning on a previous show, your stepdad helped you come up with a plan, right? And so not everybody is good at that. And so financial coaches can help with too. Certainly, like I tend to be very organized and I love planning years in advance, which is probably not something most people like to do. So, but yeah, it's something that I think just don't talk about. Like I've seen a few forums online where there's maybe a few groups where moms get together and like, you know, how can I save on my groceries or how can I save on care costs, but nothing like really comprehensive that kind of helps you connect all the dots. So
well, I think it's more of a, I think that's a comfort thing, or you know, just being ashamed or just not comfortable with, you know, sharing that kind of information with people. Because you know, some people are just like so okay with saying, you know, I'm broke. I'm poor. But some people, you know, really take that to heart and just get really discouraged by it and whatnot. So I think it all depends. I think that's the problem. That's why people aren't talking about it as much, because, you know, you're either the person who doesn't mind, but you don't want to, you know, make somebody else feel bad, but that, or you're the person that totally does not want to have anything to do with this conversation, but you don't want to encourage anybody else either to feel pressured into talking about it. It's just one of those soft points that, you know, it's kind of like, you know, those points you're not supposed to talk about during like family events or something, to keep the
I think you're absolutely right. You know, it's one of those things that when you have money, people view you as successful, and when you don't, there's maybe some negative connotation there that you're a failure somehow, but that's not really the truth. You know, sometimes people don't have money because of circumstances outside of their control. So then it's, what are the skills that you have to manage during those difficult situations and kind of get you back where you want to be? And that's not necessarily a personal failure, but sometimes I think you're absolutely right. Like people really take that as something that they can't share because they're afraid of how people might view them.
Yeah, I mean, now more than ever, people have been there. There's still so many people that are out of jobs because of, you know, the shutdowns and whatnot. Just collecting unemployment, or maybe their unemployment has expired by now. I mean, people are not living in a position where they're getting regular income. They're not having that security anymore, and they're probably all freaking out. So, you know, then on top of it all, you know, because they don't have that security, then they don't know what their future is going to hold, nor do they know where to even start to even try to contemplate it. So I guess that's where you and, the other people would come in, because, it's like a pile of clothes. After you do your laundry, everybody's fine cleaning the laundry, but nobody ever wants to put it away.
Yeah.
Because you're like, it just looks right. It looks good right there. It's clean. So what? But, with money, everybody's good with, like for me, example, I am good with listing all my bills. I'll figure out how much I owe each month, and even space it out to like how much I should pay each week to do it all out and whatever, to maintain sanity. But then it's another thing to keep it up, especially when there's like hiccups or something comes up or the car breaks down or whatever, and now your whole plan is shot. Like, how you recover from that is something I know a lot of people aren't too keen on, and that's probably what messes them up too.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when you have a plan and everything falls into place and the plan's working, it feels really good. But then, maybe you were sick and you didn't have sick leave and you had to take unpaid time, or maybe, there was a furlough, or all kinds of things happen. Maybe there was an unexpected expense that came up that just totally blew your budget out of the water. And then what do you do? And, it's really hard sometimes to make decisions when you're in that panic mode. And so I think where a financial coach can come in is really, come alongside you and listen to what's going on and help you think through it when your brain isn't really, in that place to think logically. And someone can come alongside you and help you think through it, and help you come up with your own plan. Not that you have to do what I say. Like, I may have suggestions, but you don't have to follow my suggestions to the letter. They're just options. And so what I really view my role as is someone that can help pass along information as an educator, someone that can help inspire you and empower you to realize that you do have choices, even when it seems like maybe there aren't any. That bank account's getting dangerously close to zero. What do you do? And so really just kind of shining a light on some options that maybe someone didn't see before because of everything that's going on around them.
Oh yeah, and I've said it before with some of the other financial coaches that I had on the show. It's also very helpful to have somebody outside of the situation looking in, because it can be daunting to try and figure it out on your own. Plus, then what you're looking at is, oh my gosh, I pay all of this. Where does all this go? Where's the rest of the money going? And then you're like in panic mode, or you're freaking out because you don't know where to go from there, right, and whatnot. Whereas you coming in to look at it from the outside and, no judgment, no nothing, it helps alleviate that stress, because then you're able to detail to them, based on what you gave me, this is where it's going, this is where it's being spent the most, how can we change that? And it's stuff like that that I think is just probably the most helpful, the breaking down of it and whatnot, at least as a starting point, because I know that's got to be where people are most stuck to begin with, or something to that effect. And I always love that about third party, because it's definitely tougher too to share it with family.
Yes, I would say that when you have a really supportive, understanding family, that's great. But most people, I think, find that family dynamic can complicate money, and you don't want to bring it into that. They may have opinions about what you should be doing with your money, and they may not agree with the choices you make. And so there can be, family dynamics come into play, and I'm a neutral party. Like you said, no judgment. I'm really just here to help. One of the things that I pride myself on is my business model. And so I know there are some coaches out there who, they say, hey, I'm giving you free services. And I say, hey, I will do some things for you for free. There are some services that I will charge for, but I won't charge for them if I can't save you at least that much money by the time that we're done. I won't charge people when they don't have money to spare. And so, I would love to get to the point in my business where I don't have to charge anybody and it's just free education. And I am, working on some ways that hopefully in the future it can look like that. But I feel that the service that I offer is really valuable. There's some education tied into it, and clients can come back as often as they want and bounce ideas off me. I do coaching that can continue on, but also, like, I don't charge for every little single thing. So if you guys just have questions and you have your plan, but you like hit a hiccup, I'm happy to just do a check-in, and I'm not charging for that. I charge for an assessment, which is a really big picture of where you are, and we go over things in terms of where do you want to go, your goals, what do you want to get out of this, what do you want your life to look like, and how can we get you there. So I do charge for the kind of that overall assessment, but in terms of helping people really build good habits, it's really just based on what they need and where they are and where they want to go. So one of the things that I really, really strongly believe is that financial advice shouldn't be unaffordable. I had an experience several years ago when I got a new job, and I was making more money than I'd ever been making before. And I thought, I need to go see someone and find out if I'm making the right elections for my retirement, and is my money going to the right place. And so I went somewhere and they offered a free consultation, but then the follow-up was not free, and it was quite a lot of money. And I kind of panicked a little because it was a lot more money than I thought it would be. And it was a really disheartening experience because I put everything together for them. I put my budget together. I gave them all of my assets, my debts, all of it. I felt like I did all of this work, and they gave me back a spreadsheet that I could get for free online. They told me that my budget looked okay. I should actually be spending more on food than I was. Like, I wasn't spending enough on food, which I thought was kind of weird. And then they gave me a few options for what I could potentially be doing in terms of planning for retirement, none of which really seemed to make sense at that stage in my life. And so I walked away spending way more money than I thought it was worth. And I thought, this is insane. Like, if I hadn't just gotten this really good job where I could actually afford this, this doesn't seem fair. And these types of services shouldn't be inaccessible to the people that really need them. When you have money, you can access financial advisors. They tell you what kind of funds to put your assets in. But, for the rest of us who are trying to get some assets and put some money aside, it just felt like there weren't a whole lot of options. And so, that's really what this kind of grew out of. It's a passion project for me. I don't want anyone to have to go through what I went through. I felt like I struggled for many, many years trying to figure out how this all worked. And now that I finally put the pieces together, I'm just really excited to share it with everyone.
You can definitely tell how much passion you have behind this, because the look on your face while you're talking about it, it's not a bad thing. I love it, because that's what's going to draw people to you to want to work with you, because they can see you're so sincere about your mission with this, that you want to help people, that you just have the truest of intentions. I love when people get on here and that's what they portray during the interview. It just makes things a lot easier for them and for the viewers too, because that's how they're going to connect with you. And like I said, I love how much passion is in your face right now. You're like glowing. No. If you were just
my hope really is that tonight, there are a few people out there that watch this and they think, even if I don't really feel like I need this, I just want to talk to someone who's this passionate about money, and I'm happy to talk to anyone. Like, if someone reaches out to me and they're really not sure, I'm not going to try to sell them a product or a service that they don't need. I really just want to help other people. So, I feel like I found the key that unlocked the secret, and I just want to share it with everyone.
Wow. Well, if you are just joining us, you missed a heck of an episode and you need to watch the replay. But for those of you who had stopped by to check this out, thank you so much for taking the time. Please take one extra moment to leave a comment, share the video, help spread the word about Belinda and her business. You yourself may feel like you don't need the help of a financial coach, but you never know who on your timeline may be hoping for someone to help them out. and Belinda could be that person for them, all because you shared on your whatchamacallit, your profile page. So like she said, I have let me see, yes, I have her information copied and pasted in the comment section. No. So she's easily accessible to you. She has a Facebook page. She has an email. She does have a website. I have all that information in the comments readily for you to click on and take advantage of, to look her up and find out more information about her and her businesses. Well, her business links and whatnot, excuse me. But, you know, if you are struggling, if you don't know where to start, please understand that there is no shame in it at all for looking for help. It's better to look for help and have somebody at least give you a guiding point, a starting point, whatnot, than you sitting there in the same position wondering where to go from there and never getting out of it. It sucks. I don't know very many people who have not experienced that feeling, and it's definitely not a feeling I ever personally want to feel again. So I'm doing everything in my power to make sure that does not happen. And for you that you're watching, maybe teaming up with Belinda and asking her for some help may be that way to make sure it never happens for you. So like I said, her stuff is in the comments. Please click and find her, get in contact with her. If you want to check out the video again, it will be available shortly after I hit end broadcast here on Facebook, but it also will be available on YouTube. It may take a little bit to load up on YouTube, but our YouTube channel will have the video as well for it to be shareable to anybody who may not be on Facebook. So help spread the word. Just clicking share will give so much help to her small business that you just don't believe me. It's amazing. It's huge, huge, huge help for small businesses just to hit share. So thank you again, my dear, for stopping in.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. I am so in awe of the work that you're doing. I love it so much. I can't wait to watch the upcoming episodes. So I'm a huge fan. And I hope we can, I don't know, maybe partner again in the future. So
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. Like I told you before the broadcast, this happened completely by accident. Now it's gotten to the point where it's not something I intended to fall in love with doing. And now that I've gotten there, I can't see myself doing anything else. So you're all stuck with me. I'm not going anywhere. So with that, I will leave you all for the evening. Thank you again. I hope you all have a great night. I will be going live here shortly to update you all on a lot of updates. But other than that, have a great night, everybody. See you next time on Small Biz Highlight.